Watcha Cookin Wednesday, y'all. Today we are making lettuce wraps. I made these a couple of weeks ago and I thoroughly enjoyed them. They were a filling, low-calorie lunch, and even some days a dinner as well. For dinner, a couple of nights I put some protein pasta in with it and had like sort of a lo mein kind of a dinner. And it was delicious and, like I said, low calorie and packed full of really great ingredients. So that's the plan for today. We're going to make lettuce wraps. And so when you hop on, say hello. Let me know you're watching. Hopefully everyone's having a great day. I'm glad to see y'all. It's a beautiful day here in Kentucky. It's only 81 degrees today, so that's nice. It's a little on the cool side. I'm glad to see y'all. So we've got all kinds of different ingredients. Anytime you cook an Asian meal, it's like Asian food just needs so many ingredients. So I've got all kinds of different stuff that I'm going to tell you all about here in just a minute. And with Asian food, I like to sort of prep ahead of time because the cooking process goes fairly fast. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Hello, Michelle. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Hello. Thanks for celebrating. Hi, Jennifer. Hey, Carol. Good to see you. Hi, Anita. She's making Thai chicken with rice noodles and cornbread. Sounds delicious. I saw that, Jamie. I am so glad. I cannot wait to meet you, and I'm so glad that you have joined us. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it, Teresa. Hey, Donna. Hey, Lynn. I'm glad you're here. Teresa's making Salisbury steak with bow tie pasta. Sounds yummy. Sounds yummy. I made a really good dish last night, and I'm going to share the recipe with y'all tomorrow. I've got a post coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow I will not be live at all. We're actually going to Kings Island. My mom and I are taking Griffin and a friend, and my brother's going also. And so we're going to go and spend the day at Kings Island, which is an amusement park a couple of hours away from us. I grew up going there and just loved it, and I haven't been in I don't know how long. It's been 10 or 15 years since I've been. So I'm really excited to go and introduce Griffin to it. He's going to have a blast. Homemade fried apple pies and homemade fried root berry strawberry. That's super healthy, isn't it, Dee Dee? Hello, everybody. I'm glad y'all are here. Thanks for joining. I'm so glad that you enjoyed that, Teresa. I'm really excited about Table Talk Tuesday and can't wait for all the conversations we're going to have in the future. It's going to be lots of fun. Okay, so let's get into it. So we're doing lettuce wraps. Let me tell you the ingredients that I have. So I've got some baby Bella mushrooms. I have a bag of coleslaw. I use this all the time when I make Asian food because I can just throw this in. It gives me that cabbage. It adds filler. It adds fiber, all of those things. And so it's a good one. I've got sesame oil, onion, a sweetener. I've got some cornstarch. I've got white wine vinegar, some chili garlic paste, soy sauce. I have butter, lettuce, which is what I like to use for the filling to go in. I've got 2 cans of water chestnuts, a pound and a half of ground chicken, and shredded carrots, okay? I think that is everything. Oh, I'm also going to be using garlic, which I forgot to get out. I'm going to use the garlic stuff because I've got this entire thing left over from when Andrew did a low country boil, I think. So I'm just going to use this. It's easier when you're making Asian stuff to just grab it like that instead of having to chop it all up. Potato and corn chowder. Ooh, yum. All right. So let's get into it. First, we're going to get our chicken cooking. And while our chicken cookie is cooking, we're gonna prep our vegetables. No, I did not do bean sprouts, but you could definitely do bean sprouts in this. So I'm gonna turn my skillet on to medium high and let that start warming up. And then we're gonna add in our chicken, and it's just a lean ground chicken that I'm gonna be using. You could certainly use ground pork. You could use ground beef, whatever you want to use. I go for the ground chicken 9 times out of 10 here lately because it's less calories. So, oh my gosh, 112. That's so hot. That is so hot. So we're going to let that warm up, and then we're going to add our chicken in. This is leftover from a 3-pound package. I cooked half of it yesterday. It's stroganoff that I made. All right, so we're gonna start with our bean sprout, or not our bean sprouts, our water chestnuts. I feel like water chestnuts are essential to lettuce wrap. It adds that crunch, and I just think that lettuce wraps need water chestnuts. Of course, any of these ingredients you could leave out, you know, and swap for whatever it is that you like. So we're gonna get these drained, and then we're just going to chop these up. And these are 8-ounce containers. I'm using 2. We are making lettuce wraps. Someone asked what we're making. I have made egg roll bowls, and yes, that coleslaw is perfect for that, isn't it? All right, I'm going to drain these really quick. Am I freezing up for anyone else? So we're just gonna chop these up. I just buy the whole chestnut in the cans. So 2 cans of those. Let's see how, okay, my pan feels good. So I'm gonna add some oil to my pan. Just a drizzle of olive oil, and dump my ground chicken in here. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take a spoon and just start breaking this up a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and start seasoning the meat. So I'm just going to break it and just kind of press it into the bottom of the pan a little bit. And then I'm going to take some soy sauce and just get some soy sauce on here. I just kind of just drizzle it, whatever feels right. And then I'm going to take onion powder. And we're just going to sprinkle the onion powder all over the meat. And then garlic powder. Onion and garlic powder go in everything that I make. Everything. And then, Irene, we're making lettuce wraps. And then ginger. This is ground ginger. You could certainly use fresh for this, but of course you wouldn't add the garlic and the ginger until later in the cook. And then I'm just going to mix this around. What are you making? Lettuce wraps. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, haven't you already asked me that? Okay. I'm going to crank my heat up to high because I want this to brown just a little bit. And I want all that moisture to cook out. And we'll just come in and break it up every now and then. So while that cooks, I'm going to cut up my water chestnuts. And I like mine diced small. So you could throw these into a food processor or use a food chopper or something like that if you wanted to. Irene, I'm using ground chicken. And it's a lean ground chicken. Kroger has a package now of ground chicken that's 3 pounds for $10. And so I usually just buy that. And sometimes I'll use it for 3 meals and sometimes I'll just use it for 2, depending on what I'm making. So this time I used 1.5 pounds for this meal. Hey, Jezelyn. There's not a ton of chopping with this. We gotta chop our mushrooms, our water chestnut, and our onion. And then the rest is already ready. So that makes it easy. A lot of the times when you do an Asian meal, you gotta chop a lot of things. Actually, some green onions. I'll probably do some green onions too. All right, I'm satisfied with that. I'm just gonna set that aside. Okay, we'll add those later. All right, let's work on our mushrooms. I like to take mushrooms. This is how I like to clean mushrooms. You're not supposed to rinse them, you know, and I find them to be very hard to clean. So I always just take the stem out, and then I just take a paper towel and I lay it on my surface, and then I just rub my mushroom over the paper towel to make sure that I get all the dirt off. I'm glad, Leslie. I will say it is nice to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I do like that about Watcha Cookin Wednesday, that I can get dinner made and work at the same time. So I'm just using what I've got left over here. You can use however much you want. These are kind of big baby Bella mushrooms. And so I've got like 5 here. I've got sort of a half of one and a little bit left of another one that have just kind of broken in here. Okay. There is Terry. I did share it with you. I'm sorry I forgot to post the link. I thought that I did, but I did respond to you on that comment of yours with the link. But let me see if I can just add it here. Let me see if I can add the QR code. Actually, let me cancel that. Let's do this. All right, I'm starting to get some brownness on this chicken. Just gonna break it up a little bit more. Okay, let's see. There it is. All right. Okay, there you go. So let me, where are you now? There it is. All right. So there it is. I'll leave it up for just a second. Hello, Irene. Hi, Ria. Hey, April. Okay, so let's get our, you know what? I think I'm going to do my onion first before I chop up my mushrooms. And here's the thing about this recipe. It's really all about you and what you like and what you want. You can customize this however you want, putting different ingredients in here, as much of whatever you want. There's no right or wrong way, in my personal opinion. So I'm just going to dice the onion just like I have diced up everything else. Okay. Thank you, Leslie. I use Maybelline Lash Sensational in Black is Black. And it is a hardcore go-to. All right. I think I want to break this up a little bit more. So I'm going to use my little meat masher here and just break this into smaller pieces. It'll just make it easier to fit on the lettuce wraps if it's in smaller pieces. All right. When the meat is done, I'm going to take a plate, a paper plate or whatever, and dump this out onto the paper plate and just set this aside. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside and we're going to move on to our vegetables. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. We're going to add again some oil, a little bit of olive oil, just a little drizzle, and we'll add in our onions. All right, and I'm just going to sort of spread those out a little bit and let those start to cook a minute. And then we're going to add our mushrooms and get those chopped. And I'm just sort of cutting them into small pieces. I just cut slices like this and just go back over them like that to get small pieces. Even if you don't like mushrooms, I think you could still use them in this meal. Certainly you could omit them, but if you cut them really small, you don't even notice that they're there. And they add a lot to the flavor of your dish. Andrew and I started doing that a long time ago, and now we love them. And I will just sit and eat a sauteed mushroom, but several years ago, I would not do that. I think that's the way that you introduce your self to new flavors, is by just slowly introducing them. All right, I'm going to take my mushrooms now. We're going to add the mushrooms. All right, and we just want to let the mushrooms brown. And we do not want to season this right now because we want those mushrooms to brown. Okay, let's make our sauce while we're waiting. So I would typically use a beef broth, but I don't have any beef broth. As like, you know, the base of this, So I don't have any beef broth, so I'm not going to use beef broth. But we're going to add some soy sauce in here. I'm going to just do the rest of this bottle. What you could also do is add some beef broth, add like a quarter of a cup of beef broth, and then several tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm probably going to add a little bit of water. And then I like to just do a little drizzle of vinegar. You can use any kind of vinegar, rice wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, whatever you have. I'm going to use this chili garlic paste, and I like a lot of it, so I just sort of dump it in there. Again, these are things that you can, do however much you want. Then I'm going to use sesame oil. I am trying to control the calories in here a little bit. So with the sesame oil, I am going to measure a teaspoon of sesame oil. Okay, 1 tablespoon is 120 calories, so that helps keep it in check. I'm going to add a little bit of Splenda to this to sweeten it a little. We're going to add some garlic in here, quite a bit. Check on my vegetables over here. And of course, they won't take long because we've got these small pieces of mushroom. Looking delicious. Okay, we're going to do some cornstarch to thicken this. Have you ever used? I have used that instead of soy sauce. It is good. Yes, less sodium. You're right. I have used it. I really like soy sauce, and it's not very many calories, soy sauce isn't, so I just go with it. I'm going to do a tablespoon of cornstarch, which is going to help to thicken the sauce a little bit. And I'm going to go add a little water to this. Let's just get this mixed up. I forgot an ingredient. All right, so these are looking really good. We're going to add in the rest of our vegetables. So we're going to add in coleslaw. And you could use cabbage that you shred. You could use, whatever you want to. I like a lot of this coleslaw because it helps to really add a lot of filler. I'm going to just put the whole bag in there. Why the heck not? And of course it does cook down. And then we're going to add shredded carrots. And I'm going to just add the rest of these shredded carrots in here too. Because again, why the heck not, right? I will post the recipe, Irene. Oh good, I'm so glad, Terry. You're welcome. I'm so glad you love it. I will tell y'all, I learned something about that Splenda that I used in that recipe. And that is that it is not sugar-free. And so I'm disappointed because I bought it for us because we're doing sugar-free right now. And I thought it would be a really great option. I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce in here. That one's empty. I got to open up a new one. You can see I'm using soy sauce instead of salt. So you could totally use salt if you wanted to. So we're just going to do a little bit. Okay. We're going to be adding the sauce in here, so I don't need to do a ton. And you just want to cook this down until the cabbage is tender and it really cooks down. get a little more like watery as it cooks down a little bit, and then that water will kind of cook out. All right, so we need to add some ginger to our sauce here. Oh, Terry, I haven't looked at that. I am definitely cold a lot, especially when I'm in air conditioning. So I do have on a tank top. So anytime I'm in my house, I pretty much have on long sleeves. I am starting to get a little bit warm right now that I'm cooking. But I wear long sleeves all summer. I'm glad, Teresa. So this is our sauce, and I always just throw together a sauce. And here's the thing, sometimes I still have to add things to it when I'm done, and that's okay. The recipe you got from someone. This is just something I came up with on my own, Irene. It's a big piece of cabbage. I don't really want that. We're just going to cook this until all of our veg cooks down. I'm going to grab some green onions. I think I've got some. You know what? I forgot something else in my sauce. Oh my goodness. How could I forget? Crushed red pepper. I like things spicy, so I got to do the crushed red in here. Okay, let's get a green onion or two. Let me rinse them off real quick. Okay. Thank you, Lee. Get a few green onions. We'll top it with green onions. You can also top it with peanuts. I usually do. I just do a few because peanuts are very high in calories. But I can usually do 1 tablespoon and it'll cover all of my lettuce wraps. And I can do usually like 5 lettuce wraps. Okay, this is looking good. I'm happy with where this is at. Let me show you how this looks. Okay, so we're going to take our water chestnuts and add in our water chestnuts now. They don't really have to cook, so they go in last. And I'm just going to stir those around, let them just kind of warm through, and we're going to add our chicken back in, and then we're going to add in our sauce, and our lettuce wraps are going to be practically finished. But think about all of these great ingredients. You've got onions, you've got mushrooms, cabbage, carrots, water chestnuts, so many good ingredients that are good for you. I like recipes like this that I can pack full of vegetables, but it doesn't feel like you're just sitting there eating on a carrot. You know what I mean? But you're getting a lot of it. So I love recipes like this. Okay. So I'm going to add my chicken back in. And then we're going to add in the sauce. And our lettuce wraps are practically done. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Back down to medium. We'll take our sauce. pour that all over the top. And then we'll just kind of see how it does and see if, you know, we need anything else. See how it tastes. This is a point here where you kind of want that garlic to cook as well. Like I said, typically I used all my beef broth yesterday in the recipe that I made. And so typically I would add some beef broth and it would make it a little bit saucier. But out of beef broth, or not beef broth, but bone broth. Hey Tina, beef bone broth is what I like. This is looking so delicious. So I need to taste it, see how it tastes, see if it's got that flavor that I want after we get this all mixed up. Okay. Let me show y'all how this looks. Looks yummy. Let me give this a taste. That tastes good. You know what? I feel like it needs a little bit more sweetness to it. So I'm going to take some water, a little bit of water, and I'm going to add another Splenda packet to the water. And dissolve that in there. And then we're just going to add this right in to, like, it needs a little more sweetness. Hey Dana, we are making lettuce wraps today. And that it needed a little more moisture, so that water is going to help with that too. And y'all, this is one of those recipes, it's hard for me to give you exact measurements because, you know, it's me just kind of throwing things together. So, the way that you eat this, I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to show you how I eat this. So I take, this is butter lettuce, or this is living bib lettuce. And you'll just take a few of the leaves. I'm just going to do 2 to show y'all. I'm not really hungry right now, so I'm going to go rinse these off. Okay. Recycle and reuse. All right, grab your plates, and you're just gonna put a little spoon of your mixture right into your lettuce cup. You can also use iceberg lettuce, whatever works for you. I think I have tried that, Lee. I don't know if I've heard it called mamafuku or whatever that you just called it. But I have tried the chili crunch. All right, so then we'll just take a few green onions right on top, and then just a couple of peanuts on top. And there's your lettuce wraps. And y'all, these aren't pretty to eat, okay? Sometimes, because I like soy sauce a lot, I'll also drizzle a little bit of soy sauce on top. And if you're not afraid of the calories, sesame oil on top, delicious. So then I just kind of eat it like a taco. It needed that extra Splenda. If you didn't want to use Splenda, that's totally fine. You could sweeten it with maple syrup. You could sweeten it with sugar, brown sugar, honey, anything. You can sweeten it with anything. I think it's delicious to have a few peanuts. It's totally worth adding the few peanuts on there for that extra crunch, and it's yummy. Let's see here. That looks delicious. I'll have to watch the beginning. Yeah, give it a look, Tina, because it is not messy. Okay. So anyways, there you go. So this will last. Look how much this makes. Okay? Look how much that makes. So this lasted me a whole week for myself. Now, I don't know if Andrew ever had any or not, but I ate it for lunch and I ate it for dinner. And like I said, some dinners I took, let me show you. So for lunch, I just have it like this because I don't want the carbs. But for dinner, I usually like to have carbs for dinner. And so I'll do the protein spaghetti. This is just the Kroger brand. And I'll do just one serving of this. And I'll add the mixture. And then I'll also add a little bit of sauce. So I'll make myself a sauce. Especially if I had some beef bone broth, I would make a little bit of sauce. That way my noodles have a sauce to them. And it's almost like a lo mein, and it's delicious. So you can use this for multiple things. You could also make like wonton tacos with this using wontons, and you could air fry those or bake those in the oven and make little tacos to put the filling in. That would be delicious as well. You could even take this and put it in an egg roll and make an egg roll out of it. You could use those rice papers. I have had these for so long, and the funny thing is they're so viral right now and I still not use them. But you could use these rice papers and fill some of these with the filling and then just pan fry them. Delicious. That would be delicious too. So you can use this filling for a lot of things. So it's a really good meal prep item. So, all right, y'all. If you haven't, make sure you go and check out Celebration in the Bluegrass. We already have several who have already signed up and are joining us for Celebration in the Bluegrass. I hope that you will at least go and read about it, check it out. We do have Klarna, so you can pay in payments. So you can use that as well if you can't afford to pay for it all. It is on an early bird price right now. So until the end of July, it'll be early bird price, and then that price is going to go up after that. So if you are interested in it, now's a really great time to go ahead and sign up and get your place. It is limited, so we do not have spots for everybody. We do have to cap it. So make sure that you go ahead and grab your spot if you have been thinking about it, or if it sounds like fun, whatever, go read about it, check it out. And there will be more information to come. All right, y'all. So there's the QR code right there. You can take a screenshot here and then just go into your photos and hold your finger down on the QR code, and that'll bring up the link. You can also go to the celebrationco.com and click on events, and it's right there, Celebration of the Bluegrass 2027. It is April the 16th and the 17th of next year. And then there is also a VIP event on the 18th, and that is even smaller, limited quantities. So if that's something you want to do, you also have to make sure that you sign up for that as well. All right. Oh, Kelly, give it a try. The protein pasta is amazing. I use this a lot. It has 11 grams of protein in one serving, so it's really nice to get extra protein. It's not carb free or anything, but it's got added protein in it. So protein is really great to have extra of. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you all